We are almost at the end of the 14 days of opportunity to deepen the bond with your dog. And today's topic is, I think, very important. And despite me allocating 2 days for this exercise, I would very warmly invite you that you take as much time as you can, because the amount of time that you will take will really influence the end result that you will get. The first and very important step we have to take when our dog is facing something they struggle with, for example, being left alone, encountering other dogs, guarding things, and so on, is to give them a break from those situations, or from the situations where the behavior emerges, because this allows their brain and body to rest, to relax, and be better prepared for learning, processing information, and hopefully responding differently to that situation that they found too difficult to handle. And what this break looks like, how long it has to be, and how we later reintroduce the situations in a way that they are not overwhelming for the dog, depends on every dog and the specific situation they are in. And all of this goes far beyond the scope of this project, and it does require individual one-on-one consultation. However, with a bit of organization, I think, all can avoid those stressors, those difficult situations as much as possible for 2 days or more, however you can take, to gain insight into what this break can mean for us and our dogs. So for this exercise, I ask you to think how you can avoid those difficult situations for 2 days or even more. So think about the situations that excite or stress your dog, and try to prevent them from happening by avoiding those situations. So, for example, if your dog is having a hard time meeting unknown dogs or vehicles, or being left alone at home, think about how you could avoid those situations from happening for 2 days or more. For example, going for a walk in a calm environment, in a place where there's very little chance you will run into unknown dogs, or that you are able to move away in a time that your dog still feels comfortable with the situation. Or, for example, making sure that someone is always there with your dog when you have to step out of the house, and so on. Also, you yourself take a break from things that feel draining and demanding for you, and then sit down at the end and write about how this felt for you. What did your day look like? How did your dog seem to feel? And as always, you can share your experience in the comments. You're kindly invited to do so, because it will help other people to see how you experience this. It will help to create a connection that we dog guardians often don't get to experience, because especially if we have a dog who finds a lot of situations difficult, we basically isolate ourselves, and it can feel really lonely, and we might feel that we are the worst dog guardians because we cannot make our dog's world better when all other guardians seem to have somehow managed to do that because we watch social media where people only share their highlights, and that can really distort the real image. I think we need more connection and sharing of real experiences and being vulnerable. Wow, this is a hard word to see that we are not the only ones going through stuff. And with that, I am inviting you to the last day of 14 days of opportunity to deepen the bond with your dog. See you there.